NVIDIA versus AMD. The heavyweight clash is here. RTX 5070 Ti squares off against RX 9070 XT. Which Titan takes the crown? Buckle up, because this showdown's about to get wild. For years, NVIDIA and AMD have been duking it out in the GPU arena, and today we've got two fresh contenders stepping into the ring. On one side, the RTX 5070 Ti, NVIDIA's latest mid-to-high-end beast. On the other, the RX 9070 XT, AMD's red-hot challenger. Both promise big performance, but with a rumored $200 price gap, are you getting what you pay for? I've been digging into these cards, testing them head-to-head, and I've got some thoughts to share. Let's break it down. First up, the specs. The RTX 5070 Ti rocks 16 GB of cutting-edge GDDR7 VRAM, paired with a 256-bit bandwidth. Meanwhile, the RX 9070 XT matches that 16 GB, but sticks with GDDR6, also on a 256-bit bus. On paper, they look neck and neck, right? Not quite. That GDDR7 gives NVIDIA a slight edge in memory speed. And trust me, it shows up later when the pressure's on. Now, let's talk benchmarks, because numbers don't lie, but they don't tell the whole story either. In 3DMark's Time Spy, the RX 9070 XT flexed its muscles, outpacing the RTX 5070 Ti by a solid 12.64%. Even at 4K, it held a 10.8% lead. AMD fans, you're probably grinning right now. And you should be. But hold that victory lap. When I threw real-world work at these cards, like encoding a hefty MP4 to MKV and Handbrake, the RTX 5070 Ti smoked its rival, finishing in half the time, 13 minutes for AMD, under 7 for NVIDIA. That's a game changer if you're a creator like me who's constantly juggling renders. Gaming's where the rubber meets the road, so I put these cards through their paces. Starting light with CS2 at 1080p, the RX 9070 XT nudged ahead by 3.45 cent, barely enough to notice unless you're sweating every frame in a pro match. But then I cranked it up to Cyberpunk 2077 at 2K, ultra settings, no upscaling tricks. Here's where it gets juicy. The RTX 5070 Ti hit 169 FPS, while the RX 9070 XT lagged at 130.8 FPS. That's a 29.46% gap. For AAA titles at higher resolutions, NVIDIA's pulling away, and I think it's that GDDR7 and architecture working overtime. Ray tracing? Oh, this is spicy. Benchmarks showed the RX 9070 XT edging out the RTX 5070 Ti by a hair, 0.03%, which had me raising an eyebrow. AMD's stepping up its ray tracing game, no doubt. But in real gameplay, like Cyberpunk with rays blazing, the RTX 5070 Ti took back the lead. Without DLSS or FSR, it managed 32.67 FPS to AMD's unplayable 23.2. Flip on DLSS 4.0 for NVIDIA and FSR 3 for AMD, and it's a blowout, 213.8 FPS versus 107. NVIDIA's upscaling tech is just on another level, and as someone who loves shiny reflections, that's a big win in my book. Power draw's worth a shout too. The RX 9070 XT gulps down 370 watts at peak, while the RTX 5070 Ti sips a more modest 280 watt maxed out. If you're building a rig and your PSU's already on life support, NVIDIA's efficiency might save you a headache or a new power supply. So, where's the knockout punch? If gaming's your world, especially at 2K or 4K with all the eye candy cranked up, the RTX 5070 Ti is my pick. It's a beast for demanding titles and future-proofing, hands down. But don't sleep on the RX 9070 XT. If you're balling on a budget or sticking to lighter games, it's a steal for the price. Personally, I lean green because stability and compatibility matter to me. AMD's beta drivers gave me some hiccups, like Resident Evil 6 crashing mid-benchmark. NVIDIA's polish just feels more dialed in. Thanks for sticking with me through this GPU slugfest. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Which card's your champ? Catch you in the next one.
If you enjoy this video, please like, share, subscribe and hit the bell to the later update from my channel. Thank you for watching till the end and see you in the next video.